Oh, hi, I'm Craig Taylor, and as always, a huge thanks for joining me here on my YouTube channel, the Bushcraft Padawan, and thanks for joining me in this week's Thursday's Thought. It's June here in the UK, so we are well into, I guess, what you could call early summer. Because it's early summer, that means there's loads of people online posting photographs of what they're taking out with them in the woods. All the usual stuff: sleeping systems, hammocks, cooking pots, knives, axes, and crates of beer, and bottles of whiskey, and a whole load of other alcohol or booze and liquor, or whatever it is that you want to call it. And that always baffles me a little, and that's what I wanted to share with you in this Thursday's Thought: bushcraft and booze. Now let's get things straight from the offset. I enjoy a drink. I don't mind a bottle of beer now and then, I don't mind a night out, might have a crafty little glass of wine every now and then when I'm feeling particularly refined. So I'm not a prude, I'm not a teetotaler, I'm not down on people who like to have a drink, because I do, but I don't do it when I'm out bushcrafting. I just never have, and I never will, and I wanted to share with you what my rationale is for that, and also get your thoughts at the end of this video as well. So here's my personal perspective on it. Here's my rationale for not boozing and bushcrafting. Don't drink and bushcraft. Here's my rationale, which you may or may not agree with, but it's my Thursday's Thought video. Firstly, my exposure to the outdoors, my indoctrination into the outdoors for real, was in the army. And whilst the army loves to encourage a good drink every now and then, not when you're out doing stuff in the outdoors, not when you're on exercise or training or operations and that type of thing. That's just a no-no for what I hope is really, really obvious reasons. So I've never been around beer, booze and the outside. That's one thing from the outset. The other things that I think are perhaps more general: booze has an effect on us all. It has an effect on us at varying degrees. It takes varying amounts of time for that booze to have an effect on us, that alcohol to have an effect on us, but it has an effect on all of us. I guess that's why many of us have a drink. But it has an effect on us, and for the same reasons that people are not encouraged to drink and drive, I also think being in charge of a cutting tool, a knife, an axe, something like that, when you also have potentially alcohol in your system, I don't know, maybe I'm just being old-fashioned, but in my head that doesn't seem like the best plan that people could possibly come up with. Probably the same reason why butchers are not encouraged to drink on the job, why tree surgeons are not encouraged to drink on the job. Many of us, when we go out bushcrafting, we have an open fire. Again, being around an open fire and potentially being impaired in some way, mentally because of the alcohol, physically as a result of the alcohol. Again, being around a fire whilst under the influence of alcohol, I don't know, maybe I'm just over-egging this, but it doesn't seem like the best plan. Again, probably the reason why firefighters are encouraged not to be tanked up when they're on duty, because they're around dangerous substances, fires in particular. The other reason as well is I'm very conscious that, particularly here in the UK, a lot of the time we're operating in weather that doesn't take long for the factors for a hypothermic situation to come around. We live in what is usually quite a wet environment. It often rains here in the UK. We're an island right on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean, so we're subjected to a lot of wind, rain. The temperature can drop at times here in the UK. Combine all those things together and you're on a fast track to potentially cold related injuries. I'm thinking hypothermia here. Again, we know that alcohol has an effect on circulation around the body. It has an effect on the way that our skin is heated and cooled, and the passage of blood around the body. Again, drinking alcohol in conditions when there is not only an effect of cold related injury but hot related injuries, again I'm thinking here in the UK it's more likely to be cold related injuries, it doesn't seem like the best plan. So those are my reasons, whether you agree with them or not. I hope you see the logic in them. That's my reasons for not having a beer, drinking booze, consuming alcohol when I'm out bushcrafting. My background doesn't relate to that. You know, I've never been exposed to it in my background when I was indoctrinated into the outdoors. Presence of sharp dangerous, heavy cutting tools, the presence of fire, the potential for cold-related injuries here in the UK are increased. That's my rationale, that's my thinking, my Thursday's thought around that. But what about you? Do you booze and bushcraft? If you do, why do you? If you don't, why don't you? Is it for the same reasons that I don't? Are they different reasons? Are there some similarities but also some differences? Let me know in the comments below. As always folks, a huge thank you for watching. If you're a subscriber, what can I say? Thank you. We're nearing a magical number. Pay attention to that. If you're not a subscriber, you know what to do now, and if you don't, there's a little reminder appearing at the bottom of the screen. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy watching the video, share it with friends if you think other people would be interested, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Cheers. Cheers.